You ever tried to use an AI bot in a group chat and it just completely falls apart? 10 different conversations are happening at once and the bot just gets totally lost. It's a super common problem. Well, today we're going to look at a really simple but honestly super powerful fix using Telegram and OpenClaw. It's all about giving your bot a way better memory, and it makes a huge difference. Check this out.
Okay, so this visual just nails the problem, right? On the left, you've got that classic group chat chaos. It's just one big tangled mess of a thread. Your bot's trying to follow coding questions, project plans, random memes, all at the same time. And what happens? It's a confused mess. It loses context constantly. But look at the right. That's where we're headed. Organized topics. Each conversation gets its own little bubble. And the AI, it has a perfect, totally separate memory for every single one.
Yeah, think of it like this. Expecting an AI to follow everything in one chat is like trying to hold 3 totally different business meetings in one tiny room. It's just not going to work. You've got someone asking for a code review over here, someone else is asking about a deadline over there, and a third person just dropped a cat meme. There's no way the AI can figure out what context belongs to which person. It's just a recipe for total confusion.
So how do we fix this whole mess? Well, the answer is actually a really slick feature inside Telegram. It's called Group Topics, or sometimes you'll see it called Forum Mode. And what it does is it basically turns that chaotic one-room chat into this really nice organized forum. And that structure, that's what gives your AI a much, much better brain to work with. The magic behind all of this, the key idea, is something called an isolated AI session. Now, what does that mean? It means instead of having one long running memory for the whole group, the bot actually creates a completely separate memory and context for each and every topic. So, what happens in the code review topic stays in the code review topic. It doesn't leak out. There's this quote from the setup guide that just captures this perfectly. It says, "The bot keeps separate memory and context. Coding help, general chat, and project threads never interfere with each other." And that's it. That's the whole game. It's like giving your bot a totally dedicated brain for every single task you throw at it.
Now, you might be thinking, this sounds like some super complex techie magic, right? But the secret sauce is actually incredibly simple. All OpenClaw does is it creates a unique ID for each topic. It just takes the main group ID and then it tacks on the specific topic ID right at the end. That's literally it. That little number added on the end. In this case, the number 42. That's the key that unlocks a brand new, completely isolated memory for the bot. So simple, but so powerful.
Okay, so how do you actually get this thing up and running? Well, the good news is, getting your bot all organized like this is probably way easier than you're thinking. Let's just walk through the big picture, the main 3 steps. But wait, before we jump in, you just need 2 quick things. First, you've got to have admin rights in the Telegram group so you can actually change the settings. And second, your bot obviously needs to be in the group already. Got those 2 things checked off? All right, you're good to go.
The whole process is really straightforward. First step, you just flick on Forum Mode in your Telegram group settings. Easy. Step 2, you start creating your topics. Make dedicated spaces for things like code review or Project Alpha. And then the last step is just to connect your bot. Now, just a heads up, we're not going to get into the weeds with code here. This is just to give you the basic flow of how it works.
And honestly, here's the best part. You don't have to write a single line of special code to handle all this memory separation stuff. Nope, this topic isolation feature is built right into OpenClaw. Once you do that initial setup, it just works automatically. Every time you make a new topic, boom, it gets its own little AI session right out of the box. All right, so let's talk about the payoff. Why go through all this? Because once you've got this set up, you're not just dealing with a single kinda good at everything bot anymore. You can basically build an entire team of AI specialists, where each one is an expert in its own little world. And this is what it looks like in the real world. So, in your general topic, maybe the bot only chimes in when you specifically mention it. But then you hop over to the code review topic and bam, you can set it up to always respond and to act like a dedicated coding assistant. Then in the research topic, it can be a super deep analyst. See? Each topic gives the bot a totally different job, and you can even give it a different personality.
And what you end up with is, well, it's genuinely transformative. You're not talking to one AI that's just a jack of all trades anymore. Instead, it feels like you've got an AI with multiple completely independent brains. And each one is a focused expert, perfectly tuned for whatever conversation is happening in its own little topic.
This is really about way more than just making one bot a little bit smarter. This whole strategy of organizing your AI, it kind of points to a whole new way of working with AI in our shared spaces.
It's about building the structure and the context right into the conversation itself.
So I want to leave you with this question. What if this just became the way things are done? I mean, imagine if every single project, every team, every important conversation you had came with its own dedicated AI assistant, one with a perfect memory, a personality tailored for the task, living right there inside the chat with you. That's the incredibly powerful future that this simple little organizational trick helps unlock.